There's a level of understanding that comes from physical activity that makes you think that you're going to not have energy to do anything else with the rest of your time. And you feel like you can relax more if you don't spend a bunch of energy, but you conserve your energy. That may work if you work in a mine. If you climb mountains every day, you have to conserve your energy so you can climb the mountain. But when you're working in a normal day-to-day life, if you're dealing with normal day-to-day things, your energy needs energy. If your energy is low and depression is your daily struggle, you probably need to decompress. And I'm not talking about your back. Obviously, there's a procedure to decompress your back. But if you aren't physically active, you may not build up enough resistance to physically feel the effects of complete relaxation. Maybe the reason you're not completely relaxed is because you haven't built up enough tension in your muscles to really enjoy it. I'm telling you from experience. I mean, I wake up at 4 o'clock every morning. Not this morning. I'm very disappointed in myself. This morning, I need to figure that out. But that's not your problem. That's my problem. See, now I didn't beat myself up. What I did was I got up at 6 and I worked out anyway. I still did it. So I was able to manage my time correctly and still do the things that I need to do. Now, when you work out, you may be fatigued. Your body is alert now because you've shown it that it can fight through these moments. So it will do it for you again throughout the day. Now, when you decide to take a break, you're going to literally decompress. Everything's just going to, it's such a good feeling. All I'm offering is the idea to push against your problems with mobile activity that stresses your physical. Your mind will appreciate your ability to push through physically, and without your mind strength, it's going to be very difficult to do. So basically, you're building your mental strength as well. And this is, you give you mental something else to think about throughout the day. If you wake up depressed, if you wake up feeling like things are bothering you, wake up and get yourself into mobile activity. It will give your mind something to think about. And you will, at least for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, however long you use to work out, you will use, if those thoughts pop in your head, you can use them as fuel motivation to intensify your workout or really push through that next rep, that next set, that next agility activity. And you will feel better about yourself in those moments, to where that stuff doesn't get in so much easier anymore. Now you're looking at yourself as someone who can fight through things. So you think about what you want to think about, not what keeps popping in your head, because you can push it out with the activities. You start thinking about maybe what you're going to do tomorrow. You got to distract your mind from trying to bring you down, because it will happen. Give it something else to focus on. And when you're finished with that, you will decompress. Your whole day, if you wake up, you start out fighting the demons of depression with activity. You go through the day being productive. If you're at work, that's productivity. If you're not being productive at work, whatever things on the side that you may work on, find a hobby or something, or read something that stimulates your mind. Occupy your time and stay functionally busy. And at least in that moment, you will experience the difference in those moments. And if you create more of those moments, then you will have more time like that helps you become a better person. And you can start focusing on yourself and not the things that tear you down. I know what it takes to get over those feelings. And I've taken therapy sessions and I've taken some medications. Not that medications don't help. You can actually benefit from it initially. It's just that, you don't want to get strung out on medication. You have the medication is supposed to get you to a point where you understand what it feels like to be that way, and then find ways to repeat or mock that feeling. Since my mind understands what it feels like, now I take more and more time when maybe I'm not on the pill, or if the pill's wearing off, that I force myself to make sure I feel that way. Do things. Most of the time, it starts with physical activity. Your mind will follow. It's hard to not be depressed while thinking about how not to be depressed, because everything that enters your mind is going to depress you. You're going to think about stuff that you want to do, that you need to do, that you don't want to do. You're going to think about situations that you were in that you don't want to think about, is you should be doing something to distract it from thinking that way. Treatment of clinical depression can be improved by the addition of cognitive behavior therapies and by exercise. This is a research done by doctors, by physical therapists. Research has also shown that depressed patients are less fit and have diminished physical work capacity on the order of 80 to 90% of age predicted norms. So that's exactly what I'm saying. You can add physical exercise and you can add a physical work capacity. Basically, the research is showing that these people, most of us, I, for one, was out of shape and I depressed, and I didn't physically do nearly enough to break myself out of, for one, being physically out of shape, and two, ever reaching my mental to make myself get the type of confidence in myself to know that I could overcome it. With physical activity, you gain confidence in yourself to know that you're able to do something. When you create that in yourself, it also helps you create the mental capacity to understand that you can overcome things mentally as well. We are the owners of our minds. We are the owners of our bodies. No one else controls those. Since we can control our bodies, since we can control our minds, let's do that. Let's control our bodies to physically do something that helps us feel better about ourselves, which will in turn help us feel better about our mental. Most people who are going through it can look at themselves in the mirror and tell themselves why they initially don't like themselves, because they don't like what they see. And then if you have issues, any type of trauma or anything that haunts you in your head, if you don't like what you see initially, you'll never make it to treating the thing that you can't get over in your head, because you haven't even dealt with the fact that you can't look at yourself without not liking yourself. Once you look at yourself and you're able to like who you see, you will have more resistance to things that bother you, because you don't want to be bothered. As a person who loves himself, the last thing you want to do is let something in that's going to bother you to the point where you don't feel good about yourself. So you will have more energy to fight towards it. In the moments where you need to decompress, when you need to relax, you will appreciate those moments much more, because you've taken so much time away from thinking about things that depress you or make you upset, that you will appreciate this moment of relaxation and you will not allow most of that stuff in. And if it tries again, and you'll have more power, more energy to push it out, because you've been focusing on how not to have it in there the whole time in the first place. Too many of us are strung out on drugs that take us away from who we are and what we've been through, and their coping mechanisms that help us get through that next moment that we actually need to face. We need to face those moments, and we need to face them without alcohol. We need to face them without any type of drug or addiction, and we need to face them even without help from the pharmacologic approach to treating it. We need help from that, and the only way to get help from that is internal. Most of the time, if you've started your journey with exercise, by the time it actually shows on your body, you would have fixed so many other mental issues that you would feel unstoppable in this life, and you will definitely be working towards a person that you need to become to conquer the best life that you can live. That is the goal. All of these other goals and the goals you set for the people you work for are cool. You know, you have a quota to meet, and you have some type of form of presentation that's due on a certain day. Fine, meet those goals as well. So you need to work on yourself daily, so when you have that vacation from your job, you can enjoy it. You can say, like, next summer I'm gonna be a bikini babe. Okay. What? Are you saying that because your vacation is set up for next summer, or because you're actually working towards being a better person, so next summer comes and you actually love yourself so much that you've enjoyed yourself so much on vacation, when going back to work is not a problem because you were able to decompress so much? We have to understand, we have to get into the mode of treating ourselves so much better so we can get rid of that depression. Your job can't depress you any more than you would allow it to depress you by not treating yourself better. It starts with you getting up before your job and making yourself better before you get to your job. So if you wake up at 6 to go to work by 8, you need to wake up at 4 to get things done. So by 6, you're ready to move towards your regular scheduled procedure in the morning to get to 8:00, to get to your job by 8:00. That's what needs to happen. If you're not willing to do that, then you're not willing to make yourself the best version of yourself unless you want to carry it on through the end of the day. Now, if you don't have the time to do either of these throughout the day, find ways to just do some squats on your lunch break. There's always a way to do something to better yourself. Stop making excuses because it's depressing you. It's making you the oppressed person, and we need to move away from that. If you can manage being positive or showing less symptoms of depression throughout the day, if you can manage doing that, you have made a step towards becoming a better you, because now that is going to be a contagious energy. The more you walk around being vibrant or just a brighter, happier, more positive person and less negative to yourself, exposing it to others, the more chance you have of working that out on the inside. As a matter of fact, I don't even think that you can do that without working out something on the inside first. Like, it's going to be very hard to walk around. If you're really upset and you look at somebody and something just pissed you off, as soon as you look up, the look on your face is going to be halfway trying to smile and halfway pissed off. Like, like that, I'm trying to hide the fact that I'm going to kill somebody, right? So you're trying. And if you try more and more and more, the easier it will be because you've worked on it. That's an external activity. The internal, the more you work on it, the easier that will become. It won't even be an issue, because if your inside is feeling good, if your inside has been affected positively by this change that you've created, the walking, maybe just the 20 to 40 minutes 3 times a week, if you can do this and it changes you, you've already won half of the battle. The other half is being consistent, because the consistency will take you over the top to where your mental will be affected, and it'll be like, yo, we don't do this depression thing anymore. When we start feeling this way, we get up and we do something, and eventually that takes us to a better place that we like to be. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share. The road to your best version continues, so click the link and enjoy the second part of this episode. Leave a comment and let's discuss and grow together in the name of fitness in the A World Fit movement. Let's get it, y'all.